Okay, so I'm just making a short video for the guys on VH Links, just explaining how to get a wet and dry rig. So around the back here, these are the controls coming out of the 6505. There's two ways you can do it. Once you've turned the amp on and got it going, you can run from the preamp out, hit down here and run that into what affects a separate effects unit, or you can take your speaker out up here and run that into an attenuator. The difference between them is that down here you've got your preamp tubes, and if you use the preamp out, you're only going to get the sound from the preamp tubes. If you do it with an attenuator through the speakers, you also get the power amp saturation, which adds something else to the tone as well. Ed does it with the power tubes included. So to do it, you take your speaker out, just comes around here, down into this thing, which is a Behringer, what is it, Ultra G something or other. Speaker out from the amp goes into this, and it also comes out of it. Alright, that just follows straight back around into one cabinet. So you've got this amp basically driving that cab, and that's just a raw sound. So directly from there into there. To do the wet cab, this thing here also has a line out. Now to do that, it takes a bit of signal out of the speaker signal, cuts it right back down. On the back there, I'll see if I can show you, these two switches here, attenuate it, turn it down, turn the signal down so that it becomes a line level signal. That line level signal comes out here. Okay, this also has cabinet emulation, which I don't use. There's no point to using because I don't need to emulate a cabinet. I just need to tap the sound to use it for effects. So this comes out and basically goes into the back of this thing, which is a Digitech 2120. Because of the way this runs, it's a preamp, so if you just plug it straight in the front down here, you're going to get preamp interference and all that sort of stuff, and it just makes a horrible noisy mess. So what I do with this one is run out of the attenuator, straight around the back to the effects in. Okay, so it's just running through the effects section of this unit. After it's done that, you have to actually re-amplify the sound. So if you run a preamp out, the preamp on the back of the 6505, you'd run it straight to the input of this, into the effects return of this, and all you get is preamp tube sound. If you do it with the attenuator, which gives you the power tube sound as well, run that all the way through into this, it gives you the power tube sound as well, and then you can run this unit here, so that gives you your effects, but you have to amplify it to run it into something else, because the sound coming out of that isn't going to do anything, it's going nowhere. It's quite literally operating the unit and there's nothing coming out of it. So you run that into a power amp. Now, just for the time being, I'm just using a mono block one. I've got to go into the power amp in, so all these things, the tone controls and all that junk, they have no effect on any of it whatsoever. It's only the master volume. Okay, once it goes into that, the speaker lead comes, sorry about the blur, the speaker lead comes right around the back here and into the second cab. So what you've got really is two systems. The 6505 running that cab, which is just a completely 100% dry sound, just like Ed's is. You got a little bit of the sound tapped off from here, going into here, into another amp, and that amp drives the second box. Okay, so I'll put this down and just give you a demonstration on what it sounds like and how it works. So at the moment everything's turned on and running here, but the power amp for the effects for the wet cabinet is not turned on yet. So all you're getting is the head straight to the cab, and you get this sort of clean it up with the volume. Alright, so that's just that. Regardless of what you do with the wet side, the amplifier will always come through that cab. Okay, so that's the crunch channel. The dirty channel is what sounds like this. Okay. Alright, so what I'll do now is add the effects amplifier. I'll turn it on. I'll also just show you this. The way this is done, sorry about the jerky camera work. The way this is done, all the settings on this thing are all set up the way I want them. So basically there's a 9-cent detune below and I think 11-cent detune above. There's a little bit of delay on one side. Actually no, there's no delay on either side. Okay, and that goes out into a delay, so it's about 250 millisecond delay with a repeat at about 500. Okay, and then obviously there's levels and things that you can set on this, but what I found is that you set your levels, get a good sound on this, then move up to your power amp, and whatever volume you're using on the head, you just bring the volume on the power amp up to match it, or to get a nice blend. So you can go extreme and get it really thick and detuned, or you can just bring it in a little bit and get sort of more of a balancy type tone. Okay, so I'll set it back up and give you a demo of that too. So that's just clean, that's just the one. Alright, turn the power amp on, and you get the second cab coming in now with the effects. So you can hear it actually come in. You can hear the effects and the delay. All that sort of thing. Pardon the bad playing, this is more for demo than anything else. And that will give you the effects sound. So that's just with the detune. The other one I got set up to is just a a plate reverb. Okay, it's pretty mild. It's not sort of extreme. If you want to make it more extreme for things like eruption, you just, crank up the level on the amp again. So you get. Right, so there's not much on that. If you turn up the volume or blend it better with the unit itself. No, hang on, I'll turn it off. There it is. And you get that sort of effect. The pedals and things, basically, I'll show you what we're doing there. All these pedals and things, the guitar runs into the wah, then into the flanger, and then into the phaser. Okay, and then that drives the front of the amp there. Okay, I do have a noise reduction in the loop at the back of that too, because it gets pretty rackety. But I'll show you how the effects sound with that sort of stuff too. So this is the phaser. Flanger. And the wah. Right, and that's just with the plate reverb. With the detuner, it's a bit different with all of them again, so you get this on your phaser. It sounds a little bit bigger. The flanger is similar. Okay, same with the wah. So there you go. I hope that sort of explains a bit about how to get a wet and dry sound. Sorry about the crappy playing. But yeah, that's pretty much how you do it. And I just thought it'd be best to show you now. I've got to put all this junk together back in this rack and make it all put it all together now. So it's a good opportunity to explain it before it all gets hidden away and turns into a jumble of wires. So hope that helped. And yeah, good luck.